The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hola, everyone. Welcome to Open, the one and only show bringing the best of the Bronx, New York, and the world straight to you. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche every Friday. Here's what's coming up in today's show. Leading things off, we'll sit down with the one and only Liza Colon-Zayas, and we'll have the opportunity to speak about her many roles as a working actor, her upcoming projects, and most importantly, being from the PX. After that, we'll find out about upcoming Escape to New York art show, pushing the boundaries of creativity artists from all over the world. And then we'll be joined by Ego Bloom founder Melissa Ramos to discuss the inspiration behind creating a sustainable paper jewelry line that you don't want to miss. Later on in the show, Bobby C brings us up to date with the latest headlines in the world of sports. And lastly, we'll see what's in store for the annual 152nd Cultural Festival taking place right here in the Bronx. And we'll hear the sounds of DJ Hectech, who will be with us throughout following a performance featuring hip-hop artist Israel Medina of GED and Green God. So sit back y prepárate. All this and more is headed your way because now we are officially open. Welcome back to Open, everyone. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche for the next hour. Always inviting you to get social with us online, that is. Tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BronxNet TV or like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And of course, while you're there, don't forget, follow moi on Twitter, FB, Instagram, Insta Stories, LinkedIn, Snapchat at Rhina Valentin. So, our first guest is a talented actor and playwright hailing from the Bronx who continues to make a name for herself in the industry. She's acted in many shows, including Law and Order, Sex and the City, Blue Bloods, and films such as Righteous Kill and The Purge election year. She's also worked on Broadway and has played in Pulitzer Prize winning plays, including Riverside and Crazy by Stephen Adley Gurgis, right? Gurgis, and Water by Spoonful by Chiara Alegria Hudis. And did I say that right? Hooties, all right. So she has new upcoming projects she's currently working on, and she's here to tell us more of what to expect. Please welcome actor and playwright Liza Colon-Zayas.
Thank you. Man, we go back, and I'm sorry. I'm like, whenever I'm around you, I'm just like a giggly kid.
I love it. I love it. And you're right. We do go way back. And I can't believe this is the first time I'm having you on the show, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that you're very busy and you're traveling all over the United States doing these wonderful gigs, working with these amazing actors. Congratulations on all of your accomplishments.
Thank you so much.
It's so inspiring, Liza. And really, let's just share a little bit about your origins and how this all came about. I mean, because it looks like it just happened overnight, but we've been at this for a minute now. I mean, and then you with Lambert Theater, which is, I believe, where your roots are from, right?
Well, originally, Labyrinth started in 1992 as a reaction to a Broadway show called Death and the Maiden that is supposed to have Latino actors in it, right? South America. And they were putting it up on Broadway, and the producers did not hire a single Latino in the play. So they said, in New York City, they said they couldn't find any. So John Ortiz, Paul Calderon, and a few others, in reaction to this, began Labyrinth Theater Company, which was originally Latino Actors Base, just as a place where we can come together and work on our own stuff and write our own stuff and get outside of our own comfort zone, beyond the stereotypes and things that Hollywood thinks we are
Right,
appropriate for.
right. The stereotyping that,
Yeah.
that occurs within
Yeah.
casting, and
Yeah.
so, and you have broken quite many boundaries.
Thank you.
Just being you, being from the Bronx, and when I say that, I mean you come with your authenticity into the characters that you play. Let's talk a little bit about how difficult that's been for you, just in climbing those ropes, being an Afro-Latina, Afro-Puerto Rican from the Bronx.
Well, I grew up in the South Bronx when it was on fire. I still live in the Bronx. And I've had to learn to embrace who I am, how I look like. And thankfully, Labyrinth helped me do that because they gave me chances to not play just the silent maid or the hopeless junkie with no name and no backstory. They helped me embrace that I am a strong woman. We see them everywhere. We have one on the Supreme Court. And what I'm saying is, however you look, if you look like me and you're from the Bronx, do not listen to anyone who is trying to tell you, just play your type. I've played doctors, lawyers,
Judges.
Judges.
Yeah. You're the judge that sentenced Robert De Niro and Al Pacino.
Al Pacino, Robert, like that was surreal to be standing in front of them and telling them how this is going to go down. So if I had listened and just worried about what the world sees me as, I wouldn't be here. I've traveled the world. I've done Shakespeare around the world, opposite Philip Seymour Hoffman.
May he rest in peace.
May he rest
right,
in
and
peace.
he's also part of Labyrinth, right? He was a dear friend of yours.
Yes, and he's still I believe he's still here, watching us through. We're now 27 years into existence, and following our mission to do theater that looks like the people we ride the subway with. And so
that's
I
important.
carry that.
It's
That's
important.
right.
It's absolutely important
right.
because when we watch TV, we want to see ourselves. And you're a perfect example of that. I mean, I think what also is something for us to discuss that is very important is that a lot of individuals go into the acting field thinking that they just want to be famous and they just want to be like the lead actor and you serve as this role of saying, you know what, I'm a working actor, and that to me is a lot more important than being in that spotlight, right? Let's talk a little bit about the differences in that because you've played up against like really big names, Will Smith, we already said Robert De Niro, Al Pacino. I mean, you've been on Law and Order, you've done The Titans, you've done Louis. I mean, I practically have your resume memorized because I walk around with this orgullo of just watching you work, and you're in there.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the most important thing is to be truthful to who you are. Because if you don't look like a supermodel, someone else, you're not going to get easily the opportunities. So you got to trust who you are. You have an accent, work it. You have a Spanish accent, doesn't mean you can't do Shakespeare. Follow your heart. What moves you? You want to be an influencer? That's your choice. And everything is going to be difficult. Everything is going to take work. No one gets there overnight. You have to work hard at the area. You want to be in a sitcom? Learn it. It doesn't mean that if you're poor and you don't have someone, it's never been easier for you to find out on your own how to be the best you can. When I was starting out, my mom was always supportive, but no one taught me how to go through how to find the path.
Right.
Little by little, how to
right?
navigate.
Yeah.
I had to, figure out, okay, the truth is, the man who said he loved me at the time said, you'll never make it as an actress. No one wants to see a little chubby Latina on TV. And maybe he meant well. He thought he was trying to protect me. But at the end of the day, I followed my heart, took an acting class. That led me to get to know people who told me what they were doing, to this acting class, to that acting class, to buying this newspaper, to go to this audition. Next thing you know, I'm at Labyrinth. Next thing you know, I'm learning, engaging. But mostly, I'm figuring out that it's okay for me to say, no, that doesn't make me feel good about myself. And yes, to people who may you know, not believe in me, but I have to believe in me. I feel I'm good enough.
Right.
And keep trying to be the best I can. There's so many things you don't have control over in this business. I would say I've had hundreds of rejections. But, you know, you get in your feelings, and then you got to keep up and keep going, because everyone gets rejected. So you keep fighting and embrace who you are. You know, I've stopped straightening my hair for auditions.
Yes,
unless
sister,
I'm
that's it,
playing,
curly,
unless I'm
curly,
playing,
woo.
you know, a real life character who I just don't do it anymore, because you cannot tell me that I'm not appropriate to play a business person or CEO or your lawyer because I have curly hair. That's racist,
Right.
and I'm not going to do that.
Beautiful. And so before we go, let's really quickly just drop some of the upcoming projects you're working on over the summer.
Okay, I am, in a couple weeks, I'm shooting a film with John Boyega, the new, like, Skywalker, Luke Skywalker, on the latest Star Wars series.
Love
and,
it.
I play his boss, a defense attorney.
Look at
and
you.
He's a new up-and-coming lawyer, and it's a sci-fi/social justice film.
Nice.
The next thing, I'm doing a short by Lola Glaudini, who is phenomenal actress, also Labyrinth member. She's wrote this role for me, and Elizabeth Rodriguez, Orange is the New Black, shooting that in Iowa. And then after that, my theater company is, we are working in being sponsored by Pegasus Pictures, where we do an intensive ensemble where we encourage writers, actors to create new stuff.
Love it.
And keep it going for our 28th season.
I love it. Congratulations on
Thank you.
everything. And I'm
Thank you.
so happy that you finally made it here
Me
to our
too.
studios. You know I love you, Liza.
I
We've
love
known
you
each other
too.
for so
Thank
many
you
years.
so much for what you're doing.
And yeah, seguimos pa'lante juntas. All right,
Sí,
empowering
sí,
each other.
That's
Bravo,
right.
bravo.
Adelante.
And thank you for sharing it with our audience. Mwah.
Thank
All right, you guys, once again, for Moan Zayas and her upcoming projects, please make sure to follow her on Instagram at Liza Colon-Zayas _LCZ. We have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll hear about an art show giving creatives a chance to showcase their work. Don't go anywhere.
And I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. My love, she keeps me warm. 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 She keeps me warm.
We are neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
Love is kind. Love is patient.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Guys, it's Smokey.
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown, and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch. Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, welcome back to Open, everyone. So, Escape to New York is a collective all about pushing the boundaries of creativity while also giving artists of all mediums a platform to showcase their abilities. And the goal of the event is to give aspiring artists the chance to showcase their skills while presenting the opportunities to make connections, find community, and change their lives positively. And joining us to tell us more, we welcome Escape to New York co-founder and head curator Jalen Andu and visual artist Sasha Kavalenka and Jack Gosto. Yay! Awesome.
How you doing?
I love it. Everybody was holding their breath with me. Lovely artistic names to match the artist. Welcome to our studio.
Thank you.
Thank you for hailing all the way from BK. Are you all from Brooklyn?
I'm from all over.
You're from all over. I like that. I like that. I like that. Well, I know that Bronx Brewery is part of your event as well.
They are sponsoring.
Yeah, so that's the Bronx connection, but it's all good.
Port Morris is also sponsoring too, so that's out of the Bronx.
Yes.
Port Morris Distillery.
That's what's up. All right, so the BX is visiting the BK.
Yeah, we got some good Bronx ties.
Talk to us about Escape to New York.
So Escape is we're a creative agency that hyper-focuses on bringing a platform for artists to showcase, pretty much. So we help artists get into our showcases, which we do, and we also help them find showcases around the city and just make those different types of connections.
So I like the cleverness of the word because the word serves as an acronym, right?
Yeah, it does. Eat, sleep, create, and prosper entirely.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. What a nice affirmation to walk around saying.
Yep.
All right, so you're one of the co-founders?
Yes, I am.
And so you've been doing this since 2015?
Yes, 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
And how did it even come about?
It came about I'm a creative myself.
Right.
I like to make music. So me and just my high school friends, we always were creatively inclined. So, we just wanted to do something where we saw there was a gap. Like, people like us, people that look like us, like where are the opportunities for us? And so we decided to create our own.
I love that. Now, Sasha doesn't look like you, but... But it's all good. I got what you meant. I got what you meant. No, the idea is that us artists, we complement and support each other. And so in that aspect, you have a similarity, right? So Sasha, you're a visual artist. Is this a piece of your work that you're wearing?
No.
No, but you're supporting another artist.
Yeah.
That's how it rolls, right? Because we each inspire each other. So let's talk a little bit about your association with Escape.
I accidentally came across with Escape New York on Instagram, and we just started chatting about it, and I got proposed to participate in the art show. I was like, yes, I'd love that. First of all, I'd love to meet people, artistic, creatives, to build connections. That's what it's all about. Yeah, and I also like to show my artwork because an artist needs a viewer. Yeah.
Absolutely. And where are you from originally?
I'm from Belarus. It's a small country next to Russia. Yeah.
Just so I could tell.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of New York, right? Is everybody comes from different parts of the world.
That's true.
And you, Senor?
I've been doing the Escape shows for a while now.
Oh, really?
My actual first art show that I've ever participated in was Escape. This was 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago.
2015, 16?
2000, yeah.
Yeah, since the beginning.
Yeah.
Right. So, question, how do you curate the whole thing? Do you pick a theme? And I know we have some images, so I'm just curious. I don't know if we have your images. We're going to show them while we're speaking. So I'd like to know how you, what inspires you to create the story? So
from my perspective, it's not so much of a theme. I like giving the artists their creative control. So that's pretty much it. We let the artists be who they are. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so if we could see some of those images so we can talk about them, just because the event itself isn't solely visual arts, there's all these other components. You have artisans, you also have DJs, right? You've got a whole bunch of rotating DJs.
It's a big art mixer. That's what we call them.
Okay, this is Jax?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So we can talk about the event itself as we're looking at these images. Oh, look at that. All right now. Yeah. This is Jax.
Yeah, so we bring in musical performances as well. Live visual art. Usually we have a live piece. We're going to have body painting this Saturday.
You're also going to have body painting. And, oh, look, this is Sasha's work, right?
Yeah. We'll have body painting this Saturday at the event as well. There'll be a segment of that. Also,
I
we
can see
do...
Sasha's into women empowerment. Go, Sasha. Go, Sasha. Not that yours isn't fabulous, you know.
No, I understand. I
can't help it. You know?
Yeah.
So you're gonna have live body painting
Yeah, we'll
as
have
well.
live body painting. There's there's 2 animators also, so there'll be like a visual piece that's being, media shown on a screen projector, stuff like that. So it's kind of, it's a culmination of all of the creative walks.
And so, Sasha, I can't help but stare at your jacket, right? And then, of course, looking at the 3 of you together, what a beautiful picture itself, right? So I'm assuming that you walk into this space, it's like going to be a world of diversity of just creatives from New York, or originally from somewhere else.
It's our audience is very diverse too. So that's what, for me, a passion of mine is, like, just having them have a good time and them being able to make those networking and connections. So it's always a good time for me.
I think it's a beautiful thing, especially when you're inviting newcomers to come, because it's like passing it forward and showing them the ropes, right?
Yeah.
And that's how we elevate each other. So thank you. And thank you for coming and sharing it with our
you.
Bronx viewers. I'm sure they won't mind hailing all the way to the BK. It sounds like it's going to be an all-day affair, right? It starts at what,
4 p.m.
4 p.m. and it's going till?
9
Exactly. Oh, 9?
Yeah,
Oh, you
4 to
actually put a
9.
cutoff time?
Yeah. We're having an after party.
Oh, okay.
That's why. Yeah.
I knew it. I knew it.
We're having an after party.
Gotta have a little balance.
My birthday's next week. So
All right, now.
we're going to celebrate everything all together.
All right, so we're going to sing you a happy birthday.
If you
Yo no soy cantante. It was a thought. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. All right, you guys, once again, Escape to New York art show, that's taking place on Saturday, May 25th, and that's going to begin at 4 p.m., and that's happening at the Image Gallery in Bushwick, Brooklyn, located at 1501 Broadway in Brooklyn, New York. And for more information, you can visit escape2.nyc. We have to take a quick break, but coming up, we'll find out about a sustainable, eco-friendly jewelry line you don't want to miss. Don't go anywhere.
Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Hello and Welcome back to Open, everyone. You know, always inviting you to get social with us. That's right. Tweet us at BronxNet TV. And while you're there, tweet me too at Rhina Valentin. Our next guest decided to create a unique jewelry line for people to rock with their fashionable gear while also contributing to the environment. The name of the brand is called Eco Bloom and is motivated by its own organic philosophy: recycle, reuse, and reduce, by creating pieces from paper flyers thrown away. Joining us to tell us more about the fashion wear, please welcome Eco Bloom creator and owner, Melissa Ramos. Hello and welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me, Rhina.
And thank you. What I forgot to mention to you guys is, like, I've been rocking one of the earrings throughout the show. And so this is really, really challenging to even believe that it's made out of paper. So
Yes.
let's talk about the inspiration behind it first.
Well, the process, I would say, I started doing jewelry when I was a teenager, and I would do jewelry out of nature, right? Out of wood, and I found.
Would that be in Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you would just be out there.
I would go to the
and
beach.
you would grab like grass or whatever it is. I'm saying grass just
Wood,
because I saw a
seeds.
leaf already being folded just by the way you do this. So you've been doing this since what age?
Like 12.
Since you were 12. And we won't say how old you are now, but the point is that you've had a lot of practice, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
And so it seems like it's therapeutic as well.
Yes, for me it is. It is. I mean, it's very meticulous, like you can see.
Yes.
It's a detailed job. But when I moved to America, I found that they print so much paper and throw it away, and so much advertising that is thrown away. When I come to New York, I see it repeatedly. So I said, there's so many flyers, I can make a lot of pieces instead of doing one. I would start with magazine paper, but I would have to find a lot of magazines. So I said, how can I make more pieces? And then when I found flyers that are like for advertising, and they're so pretty, the combinations of colors,
Right.
I started making these pieces. So all the pieces are made out of paper that is glossy.
Right. So
So
you're
it's-
using glossy paper, which is also paper that's not recyclable.
It's not recyclable.
Right. And so I want to show everybody the detail in this. I'm going to pull up as many pieces as I can because it's really hard for me to believe that this is made out of paper. And it does have a little weight. So, and that's probably because she adds stones to
Yes.
the actual jewelry as well. And this is a beautiful bracelet. Look at this. All right, so let's talk a little bit about how you combine and decide whether it's going to become a bracelet. This is a necklace, I'm assuming?
Yes, that's
Yes.
a choker.
This is a choker. And also the stones that you're using. So let's go back to your story of being a little girl and occupying yourself making these beautiful pieces. I mean, how did you discover how to mold it? How
How
do you
to
even-
mold
yeah.
it.
Mhm.
So, well, when you work with paper, you got to feel the texture. And I usually like bend it, it makes a sound. And the harder the sound, I know the harder it's going to be to fold. So the more coated, the harder it is for me. So the very hard ones I use for the bracelets, because it's a piece that you're going to wear on your hand, and it can get more hurt because you move more your hand. So for the bracelets, for anything that's on the arms, I use thick paper. And then for instance, for earrings, I use more like flyers, like menus from restaurants. So sometimes, you know, I grab a few menus. It can look weird, but actually I'm going to do a piece, right? Like these.
Right, and so this is basically you going through recycle bins and then finding paper that is
Yes.
colorful and then
Yes.
creating
I
from that.
also request to print shops that give me the flyers that they throw after the event that they're promoting has passed, right? Because I don't want to take from your advertising. This piece, this is a
pull that up.
belt.
Okay, let's pull that up.
It has
So that we can show
around
them.
like 90 beads. It was a
Oh,
lot of
look,
work.
this is beautiful. So how long does it take you to make something like that?
Well,
is a belt.
this can take about
This is a beautiful belt that happens to match my outfit. Hint, hint. No, I'm
Yes.
kidding. Look at this. Wow. This is gorgeous. How long does it take you to make something like this?
This can take me 6 hours.
6 hours? Non-stop?
Yeah, if it was non-stop. What I do is that I do it on stages, right? One day I cut and roll. One day I assemble and find what are the pieces and the stones that can match.
So I'm trying to find a necklace that kind of matches my outfit, just so that you can see
We have-
what works, how it works, and how they hang. And so, how long does it take you to make like a pair of earrings?
The earrings can take the small ones take 1 hour.
An hour?
Yeah.
And so, are you the only person that knows how to make this, or are you training people to help you make them?
No.
No, because
No.
it's your energy on this.
It's
as well.
my energy on
I
it.
know that
Exactly.
about you. How did I know
Exactly.
that about you?
And then the big pieces, for instance, I mean, this is a brand.
It's
I don't want
beautiful.
to mention. Then the extra paper, because
the
I don't
back?
want to throw it away, I just cut it in little pieces by hand.
Oh, look at that.
And then glue it to the back. So there's no waste of paper. I want to find a way that nothing is thrown away. So it becomes part of the piece. And for me, it's all about like transformation, like seeing something that is some way and turning it into a new thing.
Right, it's upscaling. They call this upcycle as well, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Upcycle.
Upcycle. And it's lovely. And of course, like you said, it's being conscious and paying homage to Mother Earth.
Exactly. I feel like we take paper from the trees, right? That's what we do, and I'm trying to give back to those trees that died, right? Because of us making paper. And you can see the technique, it's layered. It reminds me of how a tree is.
So there's a lot of symbolism behind your designs. Now, where can people get these? Where can they purchase
You can
them?
find my pieces at myecobloom.etsy.com, or you can go at Instagram at ecobloom, or my website, ecobloomfashion.com.
Beautiful, thank you.
Thank
Melissa
you,
Ramos,
Rhina.
everyone. You guys, once again, to purchase some EcoBloom jewelry, you can visit by going to myecobloom.etsy.com. And of course, you can find her on Instagram at EcoBloom. Once again, stay tuned. Bobby C's Weekly Sports Roundup is coming up next.
Before the Baltimore Orioles go to sleep at night, they check under their beds for Gleyber Torres, the O's worst nightmare. Aaron Hicks walked with the bases loaded to force in the tie-breaking run in the ninth inning, and the New York Yankees defeated the Orioles 6-5 Thursday to complete a 4-game sweep. The star of the series, Mr. Torres, who actually had the off day Thursday. The Yankee shortstop hit 2 home runs against the O's on Wednesday, bringing his season total against Baltimore to 10 dingers. Here's what Gleyber had to say afterward about the club's 5-game winning streak and 32-17 record atop the American League East. Open quote, so many people called us a AAA team after all the injuries. Well, this AAA team is in first place, indeed. The Bronx Bombers are in Kansas City tonight to begin a weekend series. Carlos Gomez lost his shoe during an early dash, then hit a go-ahead 3-run homer in the 8th inning that helped the New York Mets overcome a Nationals comeback that started after Washington manager Dave Martinez's heated ejection for a 6-4 victory. The Mets are streaking too, folks. Juan Lagares hit a go-ahead 3-run double off Washington closer Sean Doolittle. Rajah Davis capped the 6-run 8th inning with a 3-run homer and his first at bat for the Mets. And New York rallied to beat the Nationals 6-1 Wednesday night. The Amazons have won 4 in a row and swept the 4-game series with the Nationals. Criticized for not running hard, Mets second baseman Robinson Cano strained his left quadriceps hustling up the first baseline Wednesday night against Washington. Of course he did. The Mets announced Thursday that Yoenis Cespedes underwent surgery and is expected to miss the remainder of the 2019 season. Cespedes recently suffered multiple fractures in his right ankle after falling at his ranch in Port St. Lucie, Florida. Presumably, Thursday's procedure was tied to that injury, although the Mets press release did not specify anything beyond the simple fact that Cespedes had surgery. Now 33 years of age, Cespedes has only played in 119 games for the Mets since re-signing a 4-year, $110 million contract in free agency. That deal wasn't viewed as any sort of albatross at the time, but injuries have turned the deal into a regrettable one for the Mets. Yankees are still dealing with their share of injuries too. CC Sabathia's bulky and bothersome right knee has landed him on the team's still full injured list, a place Giancarlo Stanton also remains after expecting to return this past week. He injured his left calf this time, of course. Behind the microphone for the last New York Rangers championship in 1994, John Davidson is now front and center to try and parade the Stanley Cup down Broadway again. Davidson recalled 1994 as one of the best times of his life, and after moving from broadcasting to the front office with St. Louis and Columbus, he has returned home to oversee the Rangers' rebuilding process. Davidson is now team president and wants to be the soul of the organization by charting the right course to return New York to prominence. Time for some quick hitters from around the world of sports. The New York Liberty have their home opener tonight in Westchester at the County Center. They welcome Indiana for an 8 p.m. tip-off. On the NBA playoff hardwood, I may have been wrong about the Milwaukee Bucks. After winning the first 2 games, it's been all Kawhi Leonard and the Toronto Raptors ever since. The Raptors now lead the series 3-2. They won 105-99 Thursday night. Leonard is averaging 31.4 points per game over these 17 playoff games, shooting 41.1% from 3 and 51.2% overall, grabbing 8.4 rebounds. That's incredible. If Toronto makes the finals, the Golden State Warriors will be coming off an historically long 9-day layoff. However, it probably won't be long enough for star Kevin Durant. Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson and Andre Iguodala still make Golden State extremely talented. Those players fit well together. The competition will get harder against the Bucks or Raptors, but the Warriors can still prevail without the injured Durant. He could be back mid-series. In other NBA news, shout out to Bronx boy Kemba Walker. He made the All-NBA third team. Thursday was important for several players as it determined whether they would be eligible for a designated veteran extension, better known as the Supermax, this summer by making one of the 3 All-NBA teams. Dame Lillard and Walker qualified, while Bradley Beal and Klay Thompson did not. Kimba is going to cash in. Cha-ching! The max contract is projected to be worth $221 million over 5 years. Will the Hornets offer it? I don't know. Would he accept it? I don't know. Difficult decisions for both sides as he enters free agency this summer. During a speaking event on Wednesday, New York Knicks president Steve Mills claimed that all-star forward Kristaps Porzingis demanded a trade away from the franchise. Mills said that Porzingis gave New York 7 days to deal him or he would leave the NBA and return to Europe. Well, that explains that. It took a while, but the Boston Bruins, idle since May 16th after sweeping the Carolina Hurricanes in the Eastern Conference Finals, learned they will face St. Louis in the Stanley Cup Finals after the Blues knocked out the San Jose Sharks in 6 games. These 2 teams have some playoff history, too. Boston and St. Louis clashed during the 1970 Stanley Cup Finals, which featured Bruins legend Bobby Orr winning the series in overtime of Game 4 with his iconic flying goal. Boston has won 2 more championships since then, most recently in 2011, while St. Louis has never won a Stanley Cup in the 51-year history of the franchise, tying them with the Toronto Maple Leafs for the longest titleless streak in the National Hockey League. Not only have the Blues never won a ring, they are 0-12 in the Stanley Cup Finals. I'll be rooting for them underdog stories. Gotta love them. In local news from the hockey side, the New York Islanders re-signed star center Brock Nelson before he could even test free agency. Nelson on Thursday agreed to terms on a $36 million six-year contract through the 2024-25 season. Nelson scored 25 goals and set career highs with 28 assists and 53 points last season to help the Islanders make the playoffs. In NASCAR, Tony Stewart, the three-time Cup champion who took NASCAR by storm after transitioning from open-wheel racing, was elected to the NASCAR Hall of Fame's class of 2020 on Wednesday. Stewart's election comes 2 days after his 48th birthday. Joining Stewart in the class of 2020 is Joe Gibbs. Gibbs is now a Hall of Famer in both NASCAR and the NFL. Gibbs, decades after being selected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame as a head coach, this time he enters NASCAR's Hall as an owner. He's been an owner since 1992. Since then, he has accumulated 4 Cup titles, 5 Xfinity titles, and 157 wins. He was elected in his 3rd year on the ballot. Rain threatens the Indy 500 party. Despite a dire forecast for a day-long downpour on Sunday, there is no contingency plan to bump the Indy 500 over to a Monday, Indianapolis Motor Speedway officials said on Thursday. Only 3 times, 1905, 1986, and 1997, and 102 runnings, has rain forced the Indy 500 to be postponed and rescheduled, while on 2 other occasions, 1967, 1973, it was started before finishing on another day. Big weekend for motor racing, of course. Formula One is in Monaco and mourning the death of a legend. Formula One world champion Lewis Hamilton was fastest for mourning Mercedes in both Monaco Grand Prix practice sessions on Thursday. The Briton excused media duties following the death of Mercedes non-executive chairman and triple world champion Niki Lauda lapped the treacherous street circuit with a fastest time in the afternoon on those soft tires. More on Lauda in the C-list. In golf, Tiger commits to play in next week's Memorial Tournament. Tiger Woods, who missed the cut at last week's PGA Championship after an extended break on Thursday, committed to playing in next week's Memorial Tourney in Ohio ahead of the June 13th-16th U.S. Open at Pebble Beach. Following his April victory at the Masters, where Woods won his 15th major title and first since 2008, he chose not to play again until this year's second major, where he missed the cut by 1 stroke. In college hoops, Juwan Howard was officially hired by Michigan, his alma mater, as the head basketball coach on Wednesday, accepting a 5-year deal starting at $2 million annually. Howard, a Miami Heat assistant coach, became the front-runner for the Michigan job after Providence's Ed Cooley withdrew from consideration Tuesday and signed a multi-year contract extension to stay with the Friars. Howard, of course, was a star of Michigan's fabled Fab Five. In the NFL, New York Jets' new head coach, Adam Gase, whose relationship with Le'Veon Bell is already under a microscope, insisted Thursday that he's excited to have the star running back on the team. Gase dismissed speculation he's interested in trading Bell before the season. The Gase-Bell pairing became an issue last week when the team fired general manager Mike McCagnon, who lasted only 4 months with Gase. Sources said Gase objected to the Bell signing because of the steep price tag, a 4-year, $52.5 million contract. Oh, the Jets. The Jets. And on a final sports roundup note, congrats go out to the Fordham baseball team. The Rams are doing some job in the A-10 tourney, which is being played at Rose Hill this year. Fordham defeated Richmond 7-6 in 10 innings in a comeback Wednesday and followed that with a 2-1 victory on Thursday. Those are the headlines. We hit the C-list to pay tribute to the legend of Niki Lauda. My all-time favorite Formula One driver shares a birth date with yours truly, and sadly he passed away on my mom's birthday this past week, May 20th. F1 is mourning the passing of Lauda, who died Monday at 70 years old. Lauda once said, "One of my favorite quotes, from success you learn absolutely nothing. From failure and setbacks, conclusions can be drawn. That goes for private life as well as your career." The worst day of Lauda's life, he always said, was not August 1st, 1976. On that day, he was the reigning Formula One race car driver in the world and seemed well on his way to winning his 2nd consecutive championship. But on the 2nd lap of the German Grand Prix, his Ferrari swerved out of control through a guardrail, struck an embankment, ricocheted back onto the track, and caught fire. 2 other cars slammed into him, and for almost a full minute, Mr. Lauda was trapped inside the cockpit of his race car, engulfed in flames before other drivers could pull him out. Much of his face and scalp and half of one ear were burned off. His lungs and bronchial passages were seared from inhaling flames and burning plastic. Few expected him to survive, and a priest actually gave him last rites. He did stay alive, only to experience an even worse day 15 years later. By then, Mr. Lauda had retired from racing and was the chief executive of Lauda Air, an airline he would build into the second largest in his native Austria. In May 1991, a Lauda Air flight crashed soon after taking off in Bangkok, killing all 223 people on board. No story of Nicky's life better summarizes what sort of man he was than the crash in which Lauda Air Flight 004 from Bangkok to Austria perished on May 26, 1991, when an engine on that Boeing 767 deployed reverse thrust on its own accord. He took on Boeing, threatening that if they did not make a full statement about the cause of the incident to fly a 767 over Seattle and demonstrate that it was not, after all, safe to select reverse thrust in flight. By the time he got back to his hotel, Boeing had surrendered. Lauda came back from the depths of hell in F1 racing to be a champion again. Niki Lauda proves that it's not about how many times you fall, it's about how many times you get back up again. That's what this country is all about. Enjoy the holiday weekend. Happy Memorial Day. That's your sports. I'm Bobby C. More Open after this.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made this vacation happen.
Double points with every purchase?
Cleverly merging promotions.
Love it.
Cross-referencing travel sites. And booking all your flights with those...
Vouchers. I got us bumped.
They were like, oh. But now they're like... Aloha. You aced this vacation. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back to Open, everyone. It's now time for this week's Open Artist Spotlight. Every year, the 152nd Street Cultural Festival brings Puerto Ricans along with people in the community together to enjoy live music, great food, along with entertainment for the kids as well. And this event is a kickoff for the Puerto Rican Day Parade, and it is highly anticipated. And here now to give us a taste on what to expect from this year's 152nd Cultural Festival, please welcome DJ Hectech, Israel Medina of GED, and hip-hop group and hip-hop artist Green God.
Yeah. Tú dices que soy un hombre traicionero, pero todo eso depende. Tú eres la clase de persona que se deja llevar por toda la gente. A mí no me importa lo que digan de mí. Fuiste tú la que te apartaste de mí. traicionera. Habla de traición y eres la primera. Ahora para mí eres una cualquiera. Presentí que esto iba a acabar como quiera. No tienes razón y no creo en tus palabras. Corazón oscuro, intenciones malas, brava, por eso yo no tengo corazón. Y el sexo es lo único que tenemos en común. Yeah. Asesina, asesina, tu amor siempre ha sido una mentira. En la cama te doy tras, sin chesina. Cuando estás enferma te doy tu medicina. Y de noche le gusta ir a beber, yeah. Le gusta huele la Coco Chanel, yeah. Tiene 2 números y un cel, uno para personal y otro para conocer, yeah. Tú dices que soy un hombre traicionero, pero todo eso depende. Tú eres la clase de persona que se deja llevar por toda la gente. A mí no me importa lo que digan de mí. Fuiste tú la que te apartaste de mí. Nunca me pasó en la mente traicionarte. Ahora nunca vamos a ser como antes. Y hoy en día tenemos otros amantes, pero cuando te veo mi corazón muerto late. Olvídate las peleas, yo te quiero complacer. Si tú llegas a mi casa, sabes qué vamos a hacer. Vamos a rolar par de bastos y unos tragos pa' beber. Te llegan a la cabeza y después te la vas a comer. Easy. No borres el celular, sabes que you need me. Soy original y tu novio wanna be me. Asesina, yo soy tu asesino. Tu amor divino, te pierdes en mi ritmo. Tú dices que soy un hombre traicionero, pero todo eso depende. Tú eres la clase de persona que se deja llevar por toda la gente. A mí no me importa lo que digan de mí. Fuiste tú la que te apartaste de mí. Asesina, asesina, tu amor siempre ha sido una mentira. En la cama te doy tras, sin chesina. Cuando estás enferma te doy tu medicina. Y de noche le gusta ir a beber, yeah. Le gusta huele la Coco Chanel, yeah. Tiene 2 números y un cel, uno para personal y otro para conocer, yeah.
We came up. We came up. Yo. I'm from where Viceland wouldn't even come. Price goes up if you got it on the run and the dice go up. Everything is a risk. There are no fair shakes. Life is a gift, and that's a tough sell when you going through hell. Being too real only gets you jail like skits on Chappelle. Call that sketch comedy. I'm just trying to trace what life etched out for me. I'm not trying to be a chip off the old block. Yeah, I love my pops, but I got my own plot. I'm not trying to turn a great son. I'm just trying to make the life you made a great one for the ones that we lost, ones that went soft, all the dads that lost their dream to keep yours. Made the best of hard times, man, with a smile. Even though we knew they were the tears of a clown. We came up, not a whole team just lounging. But we ain't out lounging, we out here grinding like we still scrounging. Like we trying to get the best meal, like we gotta get the best deal. If I don't do it for me, who will? Cause where I'm from, things are too real. I came up from public housing, not a whole team just lounging. But we ain't out lounging, we out here grinding like we still scrounging. Like we trying to get the next meal, like we gotta get the best deal. If I don't do it for me, who will? Cause where I'm from, things are too real. We came up.
We good? We good? We good? Can I dance my way back in? DJ
Please.
Hector in the house.
We encourage that.
Yeah, DJ Hector. Israel Medina.
Yes, sir.
And Green God. Woo! All right, so let's talk a little bit about your collaborative here, right? Because this is going to be part of the festival. So before we go, I just want everybody to understand what they just experienced. So we can start with you, DJ, who's been playing us out throughout the show. Thank you for that.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
So, you know, these 2 individuals, very talented artists, family-oriented people that I know for many years, and they're working on projects currently right now. So they have some perfect formatted music for this type of event, you know, and we've been connected with the festival for a long time. It's gonna actually be the 9th year, 9 years from him performing.
Oh, nice.
So, you know, and then we got that he's working on multiple projects. He also has a group GED. He's gonna be performing. You know, he's family. These brothers right here, they very talented and they also family. So I said, instead of doing just a DJ set, let me bring them out and you know, bring some flavor to the event.
I love it. That's what I love about you, DJ.
Thank you,
Hectech.
thank you.
Yes, everybody's family to DJ Hectech. Once he embraces you,
everybody.
that's it. You don't have no choice. You're family.
No, it's all good though. You know,
cousins.
Yeah,
There you
right. That's how we roll. That's how, you know what I dig more than anything is the flavor. We went from this to that. And so, are you serving as engineering in their presentations?
Well, I'm gonna be playing a little set, a little bit more, you know, stuff that's connected with the Puerto Rican parade, kind of on that format. But yeah, I'm gonna be playing for their sets and stuff like that and bringing them out.
All right, and of course we're gonna have a little party on set once I say goodbye to our viewers.
Oh, yeah.
You guys have any last words you want to share with anybody?
I just want to thank you guys for having us. Hector,
plug.
Good brother. At GED Music NYC, that's the Instagram.
What is it?
At GED Music NYC.
At GED Music NYC?
Yes, and mine is on IG. It's at Dios Verde. That's Dios_Verde. Yeah, Dios Verde, baby. Te lo digo 2 veces para que te acuerdes, baby. You know?
I love this guy.
Yeah.
I was having so much fun going through your stuff yesterday. I'm like, he's our little bad boy. So where did the name Dios Verde come from?
Well, I used to be sick a lot, so I used to go to every winter I used to go to Puerto Rico, running from the winter, and I stopped eating meat and I started eating greens, and I just I love green. My former name was Prophet as in green. So yeah, Green God. I'm the Green God. And I try to inspire everybody. Who's sick or whatever. I try to spread the knowledge of what to eat, what to consume, and whatnot. I just try to help my people.
No, that's what's up. I love it. Now, thank you for sharing that. It's important that we understand. We go back to our origins, right? Because Mother Earth grows it all for us.
Of course.
Yes, and so GED. Really, before we go, let's talk about your group because we got to share with everybody. It's not just you.
No,
right?
no, it's a collective. They'll be there tomorrow.
How many of you are there?
It's 4 of us. And then we have a band too. The band won't be performing them all, but we're based out of Brooklyn. We've done songs with Tony Touch, New York Nick, Pitbull. We've been touring the world. About to go to Europe actually soon.
Nice.
In the next 2 weeks.
I can tell you guys got your own flavor too.
Man, it's just combining. I'm just grateful for the brothers like Hectech to keep the energy going and connecting all the dots because that's what it's all about.
Absolutely, that's exactly what it's all about. We rise by lifting each other up.
Exactly.
So thank you guys for being here and bringing este sabor a Open Artist Spotlight, porque eso estaba bien riquísimo.
Tú sabes.
Okay? All right, you guys, once again, the 152nd Street Cultural Festival is taking place on Saturday, May 25th, beginning at 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 152nd Street and Jackson Avenue, and that's here in the Bronx. And bueno, mi gente, that is our show today. Q, Hectech in the house. Thanks to all our guests for coming through and to you, our viewers, for tuning in. If you have missed any part of the show, you can check out the Recablecast tonight and 24 hours a day at BronxNet.tv. I'm Rhina Valentin, and from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide paz, prosperity, y amor. Happy Memorial Day weekend, everyone. Hectech, come on, let's do it.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Oh,
Puerto Rico.
Oh,
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Para mí el guaguancó es una alborada, es la tristeza que me hace sonreír cada mañana. Es lo que llega desde el barrio al alma adentro, lo que se filtra por el...